The following is a special presentation of the PDF Sports Network.
Yo, what's going on? Way too snowy with Patt. Yes, indeed, we got Championship Sunday. So we find out who's going to be in the Super Bowl this year. So that's exciting. Got some pretty good show for you today. So as I'm checking and tapping everybody in, I want to say good morning, everybody. Hey! Chucky, what it do? Good morning. EFA, good morning. Forum, good morning. IFA, what up, Bleezies? What's up? Bum, 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 bum. Not now. Independent folks. I don't know what that is, but okay. What's going on, New York Football Group? Let's have everybody else. ECFA, Players Association, LDFL. Got a lot of folks on here. Thank you. Appreciate you. New England folks, what up? Dogs only, shots fired. And the AFL, what up? Midwest folks, we got something to talk about because I saw your show. I think there's a couple things that y'all said that were not really true, but it was a good shot at. Maybe Duncan will be up. He might be awake. We'll see. Everybody's stowed in today. Nationals, what's up? And then PA. Upstate. What up, Upstate folks? Tap in. Network. Big East. MLF Elites. Wow. Glad to check in. ACFA, what up? All right, I think I got everybody tapped in. Okay, cool. Is it more fun on the commentary side? Oh, it is definitely more fun. Let me not say that. More fun is a tough one. I think that it is. Damn, that's a good question. I'm having a lot of fun not dealing with the day-to-day BS. I can't even lie about that. That's a good question. It's a very good question. But, yeah, one way or another, get no snow day. Mom, Daddy did not say the kids get no snow day. We got remote days. And by the way, that's a state thing. That's not even a Mom, Daddy thing. I know everybody wants to blame the new Muslim mayor for everything. As a teacher, I know this because, ironically, just so you know, I'm eating bacon. So, the mayor can't possibly have done that much impact. But anyway, yes. So, when COVID hit and everybody was doing the remote learning and all the infrastructure was set up to be able to, hey, what up? And all the infrastructure was set up in order to enable kids to learn from a distance, it was announced then, back in 2020, 2021, that there would be no more snow days. None. That's when it was announced. So the only decision to be made is whether it's in person or remote. So, especially all the people chiming in from like mid-America talking about how New York works is crazy to me. And you know what? What a transition. Because just like that, we have some people from the middle of America chiming in on New York football. So I did see the PFA podcast. Great job, guys. Very professional thing going on there. One of the things that they said was talking about the condition of New York football, and they really don't know about New York football and its struggles, and oftentimes like we amp our struggles, but and make them into bigger issues than they actually are. But when it comes down to it, you gotta know the information first. So I'll get to that in a few, because I'm gonna get into this who's number one thing, and have that argument irritate some people. I figured with the snow, I'd rather be Buffalo today, being more of the seasonal thing. So whatchamacallit? Oh, got it. So we will get to the whole PFA announcement in a few. But before I get to, I'll get back around to it. Before I get to it, I want to say that to hear a podcast where people talk about New York leagues and the New York league that did not, the New York league that the New York teams got, are so up in arms with or what have you. It's not a New York league. It's New York teams competing in a New Jersey league. Oh, you know, it's Brooklyn Dodgers. I don't know. They got my Canadian joint on. It's actually the Blue Jays when they were relocated to Buffalo. Hey, what up? Hey, what's going on? If you could tap in, please tap in, Kevin, because I definitely want your thoughts on this since I know you're tapped into the national picture. It irritates me every time I hear people like that, outsiders say that like New York leagues and New York this and New York that, and they don't really know. So like the New York teams that were pitched by the PFA, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Those are teams that were in a New Jersey league. So I'll get back to it later, but I do want to, in the comments, yes, anybody can tap in as long as you're on point, otherwise you get booted. And in the comments, I want you guys to put down which leagues have been based out of New York. Please name them. Name the leagues that have been based out of New York in recent memory or whatever. Cool. Please name them. Because the LAL is not a New York league. And they were talking about the LAL as a New York league. It is not a New York league. It's not based out of New York. And that's part of the issue. And part of what could possibly be. And again, we'll get to it in a few. Duncan's biggest challenge is doing what a lot of people have not been able to do, which is be able to govern New York teams without being, not knowing the New York landscape. I think, for example, Slip, who was dealing with New York teams when it came to the Den, he adjusted. He definitely had to adjust with the difference between the New York market and the other markets and such. And you know what? If Flip is up, I'd like to hear what he has to say about what's the differences between dealing with New York teams versus outside teams as somebody who was outside of New York. No subs? What are you talking about subs? What up?
Patty Pat, what's up, my guy?
Snowy as hell. How about you?
Well, we were supposed to get some type of storm, but we didn't get shit but rain, so we're good down here in the south. They were expecting some monstrous storm, which never came. But being a weatherman is the only job you can get paid and keep your job and always be wrong.
Very nice, very nice. So, welcome. How's everything going? I guess first and foremost, how's everything going?
Everything's good. Everything is well so far. Team's getting ready for Vegas. Leave in a couple of weeks. Getting ready for the season. We're excited. We're excited for what's to come this year.
Beautiful. So for those that don't know, please tell us about what you and Green Wave are doing in terms of going to Vegas, who you're playing, and when it is.
Well, right now, unfortunately, because the Green Wave, some of their players will be heading up to another national. The Green Wave won't be able to make it this year. So it's only us going out. We're traveling to Las Vegas to play the Beach City Giants this year, um, to try to do a West and East type of bowl with both teams, and try to get the West and the East more intertwined with each other. So we've been working pretty hard at this. Morrow, who is helping lead the way over there in California, he's definitely a great guy. Really good connections out there in the West, has helped me out a lot. Rose, who's the owner of the Beach City Giants, well-respected team out there in California. Definitely a good owner, good people person. Been in contact with him too all throughout this whole thing that's been going on with us. So we're excited. It's going to be good. This year we'll go again to Vegas, and we're hoping next year we will host them somewhere closer, or there's a possibility that we will be the Lions will be heading to Texas next year instead of Vegas. We'll just keep that in mind.
Start checking off the states, man. I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. All right. So here's the schedule for today. This is what we're talking about. First thing we're talking about is the national championship picture. I will give you my thesis on who's number one. You will agree or you will disagree. If you disagree, you'll be wrong, but it happens to the best of us, right? And then we're going to talk about league shopping, because there was an announcement in the PFA yesterday. What that announcement is specifically
Right.
is debatable or what have you, because you didn't see teams commit. And you know how I am. Unless you have money on the table, I don't think you're in a league, to tell you the truth.
Right.
So
Agreed.
that's the output, or so the schedule for today. So first, let's go to the national championship picture. Here is my thesis. I have right now the Detroit Ravens at number one and the Brooklyn Seminoles at number two. Now, before I start bobbing and weaving and ducking and whatever, let me say that could change.
You
Now,
started
I know what
really
you think.
dangerous on the Lord's Day. This is really dangerous, Dave.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. I'm with you.
Right. So here's the thing. This is what I think, and it's very close. It is so very close. And I think you could justify. I'm not even mad at anybody that has the Seminoles number one and the Ravens number two at this particular point. Here is what will make it clear cut to me. You can't even debate it. Knowles would be number one. Is if the Sharks beat the Fayetteville Ducks. If the Sharks beat the Fayetteville Ducks, this is what happens. The Detroit Ravens right now are the USA Bowl national champions. They have beat 10 opponents, 10 different teams. They have beaten, in terms of their key wins, the Oklahoma Bears, who are a champion, Racine, the Motor City Rams, the Cleveland Rams. Cleveland Rams are a pretty good team. And those are their marquee wins. Now, here is where, again, I'm good with you saying the Knowles are number one, and I'm moving more towards over the Knowles being number one. And here's the reason why. The Seminoles are NFE national champions. Their marquee wins. They beat the New England Bombers, who were a league champion. Lockport, who was a league champion. The New Jersey Sharks, who are a league champion. The Pharaohs and the Bears, also nothing to sniff at. But they've beaten 3 league champions this year, compared to the Ravens only beating 1 league champion. Now, you could say that the Ravens had a tougher stretch when it comes to outside of these marquee games, their quality of opponents, being that they had more opponents and tougher opponents during the course of the year. I could give you that. But here it comes that the Brooklyn Seminoles have defeated more ranked teams than the Detroit Ravens have. So all my Detroit people, my Midwest people, I know you want to cuss me out, but just hear me out and try to talk to the numbers, right? So yeah, the game was called. No, that game was over, bro. That game was over.
Yeah.
And by the way, which one? The 107, is that the Knowles and Bombers game? That game was over.
Yes.
That was going to be uglier event continued. And what
that
makes it
game.
so much better is that the Bombers are the ones that chose that venue, and that venue is the one that cut them off at halftime. So that's on the Bombers. Nonetheless, the Knowles defeated three league champions. And if the Sharks win, they would have not only beat three league champions, they would have, out of the three national champions, they're the only one that would have beaten one of the other of the three. How do you? Ooh, I guess he dropped off because he quit. Did you tap out on me? I guess I'll come back. I didn't know that. Oh yeah, didn't know that. Yeah. So if the Sharks win, the Knowles would have beaten three league champions and a national champion on their record. Now, those of you in the Midwest tell me that the Ravens have that under their belt. The only thing that the Ravens can respond with is, oh, if we were to get you on the field, which you had a chance to do, by the way, if we get you on the field,
Sorry about that.
no worries. So if the Sharks end up being Fayetteville, the Knowles will have beaten three league champions and a national champion.
Agreed. Agreed.
And,
I okay. Here's my take on it. Quick take on it. Okay. Speaking of the Motor City Rams, the who else they played? Who else did you say they played?
Cleveland Rams, Oklahoma Bears, and of course Racing.
Right. Now, here's the difference. Here's the one little key difference in there. All those teams besides Oklahoma played in the same league. So you can only crown one champion out that league.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that if you were to put, let's say, Racing in another league, and then possibly put Motor City in another league, depending on what league, where they'll be set at, would they be champions? Would they come out on top?
Okay.
There's my little debate there on 1 and 2. You know, at the end of the day, the only way this gets squared off is when these two teams play. There's nothing else we can really speak about. Everybody wanted to. Everybody's gonna have their opinion on who's won and who's two. Yeah, those are my Christmas. Like, chill out, Skip. We still in the season, brother. But like you said, the Seminoles have played other league champions, so it is a tight rope to walk. You know, at the end of the day, I still feel that this game, in order to claim an actual national champion, you can claim these two are both national champion quality teams. The resume speaks for both of them. You know, the championships and other leagues that they went to and won, and, you know, national bowls that they came out on top. You can clearly say that both these teams qualify for a national #1 game, to be #1 in the whole country. Now, my opinion, until that game is set, we're always going to have this back and forth on who's #1 and #2. The Midwest is going to think, a lot of the Midwest is going to think Detroit. A lot of the East Coast is going to think the Seminoles. A lot of some of the East Coast are going to have, you know, a little bit of background to it, so they might go with Detroit. Some of the Midwest might have also background and might think Brooklyn is the higher team. You know, so it's all basically based on opinions until that game happens. Once that game happens, which I have heard that it is going to happen, it is in the works. I heard owners have talked, and the owners who need to talk have talked. And I am hearing that game's a possibility of happening. So when it does, that game is going to set the tone for who is the #1 national team. Because in reality, nobody else is really looking good.
I want to cut you. I want to cut you. That's 2026. Who is the champion of 2025? Because if they end up playing, especially because I'm looking at almost a foot of snow on the ground, they're not playing in calendar year 2025, and you know we accept that bowl season goes up until, let's say, February, President's Weekend. If the game ain't played by President Weekend, it's 2026.
And when is President's Weekend?
February 14th.
February 14th, right?
Yeah. So it's not going to get done by that. So who's the champion of 2025?
Man, in my opinion, like you said, I personally would have to go with the Seminoles only because of the caliber that they're playing. But again, it's rough because of the simple fact that those teams that you're claiming that Detroit played, they all played in the same team. I mean, in the same league. So you can't really justify them not playing other champions because they all play in the same league. That's the hard point to try to go around.
Plot twist, because I know my Midwest folk. My dad's from Cleveland, Ohio. He's a Midwest dude. Midwest black folk, they don't listen very much unless you give them a compliment to start, right? So I said at the start of this thing that my number one is the Detroit Ravens. I was lying. My number one is the Brooklyn Seminoles, but I know if I said that, y'all wouldn't have listened to me anyway. So number one is the Brooklyn Seminoles, and that's the reason why. Ain't no way you can tell me that you're playing champion versus champion, and these league champions, especially after what I saw with Oklahoma and such, beating a league champion has to mean more than beating other teams.
Sure.
It has to.
I agree.
It has to, and that's why the Seminoles are number one. And I don't think it's close if the Sharks end up beating, if the Sharks end up winning the national. No possible way. Yeah, whoever's playing on Valentine's Day is going to get their ass whooped. I agree with that 100%. That's definitely asking for it. So,
Yeah, that's why we moved it to the 21st for us in Vegas. We were like, yeah, that week of 14th, a little too much.
which would also mean that the Double A championship would be on Sunday. Isn't that Side Chicks Day, February
Yeah,
15th?
yeah. So now they're going to be mad too.
Jeez.
So it's
I'm
just
sure.
all bad. It's all bad.
All
Sunshine Boy,
bad.
you did bad on that one.
It's all bad. So that's the national picture. Okay, on to the next. So the next thing is league shopping. So PFA made an announcement yesterday. Are you privy to that? Do you have any insider information for us?
Not really insiders, more so straight direct. I have talked to Duncan personally a little bit. And we're really going to chop it up and really get on. I was actually going to do a live this week with him on there because there's a lot of people. Of course, the curiosity got the cat, so there's a lot of people that want to see what this is about. Does he run a good, efficient program in the PFA? Absolutely. You can see it. You can tell. It runs good. Does he make up for teams falling out of his league? Absolutely. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen the dude really work hard to try to fit schedules for his teams. Now, the problem is not even a problem. The thing is,
The challenge.
the challenge. The challenge is, will the East Coast buy into what he's selling? That's going to be the challenge.
I see.
Now, if you have prominent figures who want change and believe that maybe this could honestly be a way out, a good way out.
Wait. Okay, because I know Spence was in the comments talking about subs or whatever like that. I never threw a sub at anybody, and I said no subs for 26. Prominent people, you said you got to name names. What prominent people?
Prominent people. Names you just named. Teams you just named. You got somebody like Tony Spina. You get somebody like Tony Spina and his organization on a board of what you're trying to buy or what you're trying to sell. You have a possibility. You have a team like Lockport up there. That's a strong organization that's breeding champions. Okay, the Bears. You have the Bears. Another team that was a underdog team coming in a couple years back and beat all odds, won championships back to back, different leagues, went again to a championship. So when you have team names like that and team owners like that are dominant, you have, if you can get into Connecticut range, you talk to Blaze and the Bulls. That's a team that is a dominant team, and it shows, and their ownership shows that they are willing to play whoever, whenever it is. That's another high quality. When I say personnel, those are people you want to have those conversations with, because those are the people that are going to make the movement. People follow them. So in order to lead, you must have already leaders in place that's going to help you lead to what you want to sell.
I like that. Okay. So as for me, and I know that there's some people, I mean, some people have an issue with me because they just want to have an issue with me. I'm good with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to, not that I have that type of power. I think some people mistake my opinion for power sometimes. I'm going to avoid telling you who I think is going to work out and who I think is not going to work out because I don't want things to move and then all of a sudden just because I
Right.
predicted something they're like, well, Patterson's the one that did this. It was because Patterson said I don't need all that, especially in my retirement. So I'm just going to go over my personal experience on what I do in terms of process in league, like deciding which league to enter in. Now the first thing is when I have a team and I'm putting my team in a league, what happened the previous year is in the past. We get that. Every year I consider myself a free agent, just like I tell players, right? Yeah, blame Patterson is all the time. Some people their go-to is blame Pat. I get oh yes, I do have my JD4 hat, but yes, I do need some more Knowles gear, 100%. Um, so every year I attend whatever meetings for leagues that are out there. I'm listening, I'm shopping all the time. And I tell the league that I was in the previous year, hey, this is our exit interview. This is what you did well. This is what I was not satisfied with. But everybody knows at that particular point that if you show me what you can do for my program, I'll do business with you every single year. Which means that the league. You hear me still?
Yep, yep, yep.
Somebody trying to call me. Which means that the league that I was with is not going to rest on their laurels and just take my business for granted. You have to earn my business every year. Do you agree or
Sure.
disagree with that sentiment?
100%.
Beautiful. And that's why when I hear these are my players, every year players are released, and the next year until they pay their money, they are not your players until they sign and they pay their fee. So
Sure.
I go to all the league meetings. I ask questions, and I'm going to do what's best for me. So good versus bad with specific leagues. I'm going to hold off on that because I don't want what I say to sway people's moving X, Y, and Z. Not that I have that type of power, but people think I have that type of power. So I'm
Right.
going to avoid that. But I'm going to ask my viewers to answer some of these questions, including you. I'm going to interview you. Questions to evaluate leagues. So if I'm sitting down with a league and you're going to pretend to be the league rep, right? I'm going to sit down with you. I'm going to say the first thing, my first question is, how much do you know about my region? New York is not New Jersey and New York is not Connecticut. How much do you know about the history of New York leagues? Different, which is different than New York teams that are in non-New York leagues.
Okay, now
And
are you asking me,
can you even name the leagues that have been based out of New York?
okay, now are you asking me as a person who knows the New Yorkers, or are you asking me a person who is coming in?
I'm asking you as a league owner with your, and by the way, I am acknowledging that you know more about the New York area than a lot of people that are outsiders. And I think the big challenge, and again, somebody tagged Slip in this, because I'm really interested to see what Slip says because he was a out of towner that was doing business with New York teams, and I do want to hear his reflection on what the difference is between dealing with New York teams versus not.
As an insider, I'm gonna break this down in a two-part question because I believe it'll bring some knowledge to it. As an insider, I would definitely be able to answer those questions again because I'm in this region. I know the teams, I know the leagues, I know some of the owners personally. I know some of the commissioners personally. So as an insider, my insight would be a bar none to have you come to the league because I would be able to physically answer those questions for you. Now, if I'm an outsider coming in, I got to keep it real with you. How much have I studied on your league? Okay. New York football, I'd say this is just roughly estimate. I maybe studied on New York football about 3 to 4 years. Okay. All right. But this is what I did do. I got some figures that are in New York who have been in New York for over 20 years, 25 years. Some of them who believe in my vision and believe in what I'm trying to do. I brought them along with me to help me see the landscape of New York. So now I have the knowledge of the people, because that's what it is. It's the knowledge of the people who've been there. And now I'm going to bring my business aspect to it. Now I'm going to add both of them together and make it work. You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna tell you from an outsider perspective. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know nothing about a restaurant business, you're not gonna open it up. Period.
Okay.
And it's all about prominent location. And everybody knows New York is a mecca for semi-pro football. It's a prominent location. You know, it's always talked about. You know, New York.
Now, here's the thing. Let me cut you there for a second. The fact that you said that makes me know, and there's two things, right? The first thing is I'm asking the question because I want to know what you know about the region. And the second thing, which sometimes is actually the more important thing, is I want to know if you have a respect for what you don't know. Let me say that again, because some folks in the back of the congregation this Sunday might not have got that. I want to know that you have a healthy respect for what you do not know. That helps. Okay?
Yeah, and you got to be, if you're trying to sell me something, you got to be upfront. You got to be on Front Street with it. You know, you got to put all your cards on the table and let it know what you're trying to sell, and let me know. But look, I'm not 100% efficient in this area, but I'm willing to expand my business here to try to make it efficient over here. You know, I'm trying to go up and out. Hey yo, chill out. Watch out for my blunts, man. Dre, chill out, man. We gotta talk, man. I don't like all that negativity you pushing this way. But you know, it's more so. Like I said, it's if I go into a location that I don't know about, I'm gonna be 100% real about it and be like, look, I don't know much about this location, but I'm willing to try. It's just like when I stepped into the semi-pro world. I never knew shit about it. I didn't know it even existed until my best friend told me, hey, yo, I'm a coach of a semi-pro team. You know, you want to do a little like live shit for the guys after the game. And then here we are now, you know, 5 years later, me and Kenny, you know, are where we're at today. So it's like, you know, not knowing and understanding you don't know, it's cool. That's definitely cool. But not knowing and understanding you don't know and don't want to learn, now that's the problem. You know,
All
as
right.
long as
The listening part is big.
it's very
Big.
big. It's very big. It's very big. It's going to be a huge seller point if this thing takes off. If anything takes off, you know, it's listening. Everybody has to listen to each other. Nobody can be the dominant hand. When people try to be the dictator, you see what happened. ECFL, I'm going to call it what it is. You see them fucking crumble and fall. You had two powerhouse teams, and you knew what the fuck was going on, and now they're playing double-A championships when they squatted up for triple. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's bad, poor management on their end. They fucked that up. But but yeah, now you see the difference of what's happening. This is why when you have a dictatorship and somebody who wants to run things one way, you see that it doesn't work, and now you lose everything.
So quoting those things that happened in the past shows knowledge of how things work and applying it to different situations. I would also say, as a quick in the comments, I want to see this. Can you name a person in New York semi-pro that if you dropped that name and somebody who's trying to get into semi-pro in that area or is trying to pump fake like they know, drop me a name of somebody that if you don't know that person, you don't know shit about New York semi-pro.
Shit. JP, Tony,
JP, got it, got it. That's a good
Mr.
name.
Spina. You know, we can go with Coach Spina. You can go with
if you know
Mr.
Spina, I
Mr.
don't think you
Dex.
know New York. I don't think you automatically know New York. I'm talking about like one of those sneaky good names that are like, oh, okay, like you're kind of tapped in. I know that you're tapped in because you dropped that name. I say JP because JP isn't really a headline dude
No,
that's
JP is
always.
very quiet, very in the, you know, in the cut. You know, you don't see him really out there, but you know he knows.
Indeed.
He knows. And you know he knows who he needs to know to help you get certain places or to certain avenues.
Indeed. Spence, you're very knowledgeable about the New York area. Can you
Oh, this
name
guy
me
too. I
somebody?
like this
I know
guy.
Spain is known nationally. There's certain guys that are just known nationally. If you had somebody come up to you like, yo, I know about New York semi-pro, and you're like, okay, what name do you drop to give them like a G check real quick, like to see if they're legit or not?
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. Like, everybody keeps talking about like a team name or like a team owner or
I
whatever,
would say
or like league owners, but
personality, like player, like G Block, for example. G Block's known everywhere. If just because you know who G Block is doesn't mean you know New York football.
I mean, yeah, it's the same thing with Skip. If you know Skip, but yeah, Matt just said it. If you don't know Earl, if you don't know Pat, if you don't know Mason up in the Northeast, if you don't know the people that you're talking about, then you really don't know what you're talking about, right?
I would tend to agree with that. Indeed. So, how much is New York expertise important as a New York team yourself when trying to find a league?
I mean, listen, we have a different area, right? Like we have a different area than any place else in the country. In the other parts of the country, teams generally go 4 hours for a game. We don't have that here. Guys struggle to get to Granny Road if they're in Brooklyn. So it's a different landscape. It's a different atmosphere.
Indeed.
New York is not the same.
I'm sorry, before you get to the next point, and I would say, and please correct me if I'm wrong, discounting that. So if you're an outsider that hears that and says, "Oh, I don't want to hear about that. You should do it anyway," is the first way to get a New
They
Yorker.
won't, but they won't do it.
Yeah. So continue,
What
sir. Sorry
what?
about that.
So here's the thing. What's stopping? Like this is what I've always been on. I'm always going to be on this ride this train. What's stopping these teams from playing? Like the bottom line is nobody has a rule in any league that says you can't play out of league games. You can't play in a tournament. You can't play in a national championship. Nobody has any rules that stops anybody from playing these teams. So there's something that stops teams from playing each other.
I think in certain cases, as we just saw with the ECFL, there was a barrier with that. I think to a certain extent, there were some teams that didn't want to do that because some of the higher ups at the time were not into that. I
Right,
think
but there's no way they could stop them. I agree. Yes.
yeah, but it takes fortitude to buck the trend. It takes a special kind of cojones to, because again, me and you who've done this for a while, if a league tells me or you to do something, we'll look at them like piss off. But for a younger, more inexperienced owner, they actually think that they might be like banished to semi-pro oblivion, and with like the Little Mermaid, all those little souls and such that were freed at the end or whatever. Don't make fun of my Little Mermaid reference, but I have a 9-year-old daughter. But whatever.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I think that would spook some people into not doing stuff. And to tell you the truth, I like, especially with the spring, with the collaboration with the NEFL, and I know John Saplenty is going to be down for crossover games. It has opened up the region because the people in charge.
Other regions turned us down, bro. We reached out to both your regions. Other regions turned us down.
For the spring or for the summer?
We had agreements in kind, and then teams said no.
For the spring or for the summer?
Both.
Yeah, let's try. So for the spring, this spring, Big East, who turned it down?
Am I supposed to rat on the live?
Hell yeah!
The NEAFL had a agreement with us.
Yes,
and they dropped, and their teams. I don't know how many teams, but teams started saying no, and then it died. Like it got canceled.
Oh, that sucks. Come on, John, get that shit right.
It wasn't John. It wasn't John.
No CFL team or no Big East team turned down any matchups.
Zero Big East teams said no to any matchups.
Yeah, we said yes to everything coming in.
So get your shit together.
It's not, but again, Pat, so that we have 100% accuracy, right? John set that up with Mason, like that happened, like that was everybody. Listen, and when I say John and Mason, it wasn't just John and Mason, but there's a lot of moving pieces. But we had an agreement in kind with another league, and they, Reading Raptors, a few other teams. I don't remember all the names. The militia. We already had games set up. Like we had games set up. We were gonna do. we were deciding if it was going to be like in the season or before the season, whatever. And John set that up. Like,
then I'll
so
be the one to say it. John, you gotta get a hold of your team. You gotta
yeah,
control.
it's not, but it's not.
You
But
gotta
see, this is
control
the
your.
thing.
Oh, sorry, I didn't say that. You gotta
But this is
control your
what-
people.
But this is what you just. But you just said the opposite 5 seconds. Like, this is what I'm saying. We just said the opposite 5 seconds ago. We can't.
Stop. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I said the people on the top historically have been against the crossovers because they felt as though if I have my team competing over there, then they're gonna see what the other side of the fence looks like. They're gonna see the grass on the other side, and they might
want
leave. Hold on. They
I
don't
am.
have that threat anymore, especially with the way everything is spotted out regionally. Now that's totally different than an owner, John, not being strong enough to put his teams in check. I was about to say host, about to keep his team in check. You got to. Sorry, Nessa. Sorry, you know we're at Sunday morning talking about. You got to keep your hoes in check, bro. Sorry.
Do you want?
Just say you
Do you
just gotta
want?
keep. You gotta force the issue. You gotta force the issue. So no, I'm not letting them off the hook.
Do you
Not letting
want
them
the
off
full
the hook.
explanation? Because there is a real explanation of why that. Because I was been involved in those conversations. Why it doesn't happen and why it does happen sometimes.
Football. If you got the whole Big East willing to play, and I know Big East teams are willing to travel, get it done. Stop making
Okay,
excuses
so
for the shit. And by the way, none of y'all schedules is fit up like that. Oh, appreciate it, Nessa. Go ahead, Nessa. Tell them keep the hose in check. There you go. Tell them, Nessa.
so
I
Pat,
don't know why I'm on the hose thing today. My bad. Sorry.
because you've been involved in these conversations, check me if I'm wrong, right? You've been involved in many of these conversations that I'm about to rat on, not rat on, but like just inform on, right? In reality, there always been like some kind of a movement or people asking like, oh, why doesn't the MLF Elite play the 5-star, or why doesn't the MLF play 5-star? And you're talking about two competitor leagues that were actively recruiting each other's teams in a small area, right? This is two competitor leagues that were, 100% not cool with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were actively trying to recruit teams from 5-star. We were actively trying to recruit their teams. If their teams approached us, we didn't say no. Now, the difference between that and what we're talking about now is NFL is not actively recruiting teams in New York City, and teams in New York City aren't going to go play in Maine on a weekly basis. It's just not realistic. Now, once or twice a year.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Respectfully, keep your hose in check. Sorry, I said respectfully, so it's good. Go ahead, continue.
What I was saying is that teams that listen, I like playing in Maine, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want regular season games 3 times in Massachusetts, Maine, and Rhode Island, because that's 4-hour trips for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy travel. It's restrictive travel, right? That's going to hurt teams in this area. Teams will not be able to survive that. Yeah, right. So the reality is, when you start talking about,
I'm gonna cut you right there. I don't care about what can't be done. I want games between Big East teams and any AFL teams.
No, we're making it.
I'm a fan. Hold on, I'm a fan. However you get it done, get it done. I don't need an explanation of what can't be done, because the more of the explanation of can't be done ends up with people feeling a certain way because they feel as though they're being targeted and that they didn't get the job done, even though they probably didn't get the job done. So all I'm saying is that we need those games. So however, John, however you need to get it done, get it done. You can tag him in here, tell him I said it. We need to get those done. NEFL, good job. Big East, great job, because I know Big East is always with it. We need to be playing more. Nobody wants to see the same teams play multiple times. People want to see teams branch out and play other like teams. We want to start to talk about, because here's the thing. The conversation of who's the best in the land doesn't just come from number one playing number one. When you have number one and how they stack it up to 3 and 4 and 5 and what those scores are, and then the crossover games of how the 4s line up and the 5s line up, that's helpful for that whole conversation. So get your shit together. All right, we're moving on. Next question that I ask for semi-pro shopping for leagues is, can you create me a schedule that lets me accomplish my goals? Let's unpack that. Not everybody's goals are the same. So for the Knowles, for example, that obviously is because the easiest one. The goal is to be in the national championship game, 7 p.m. game. What else can a league do in terms of addressing teams' needs with the schedule? Because you need to provide me a schedule. Go ahead. What do you got, Kev?
Well, see, that's That's kind of hard because that's going to be a catch-22 for everybody because you're not going to be able to please anybody. So you're going to want to make it as well-rounded as possible. You want to find in my league, say if I did have a league, my league, I'm finding teams that are recognizable, teams that are known, teams that have been here and want challenge and competition. I'm going after those teams. So I'm telling you that, yeah, you're going to have enough games because we have to be realistic. We're up here in the Northeast fighting with the South every year for that game. Why? Because the amount of games played. When you have a team from the South that's playing 14 games and they're playing 14 games compared to our 7 because of weather restriction, um that's that's a no-brainer. So now as an owner of a league, I'm going to make sure I have enough teams that are qualified, because at the end of the day you can't have 3 teams that are top dogs and then 7 that are all fucking dog shit, because then nobody's going to really look at that. Again, that goes about strength of schedule. You don't want to play, no offense, have a team like the Badgers in there, and then you're trying to get that 7 o'clock game. That's just not going to happen. But yeah, I would make sure that teams are well rounded, and I know travel would be a big expense, but at the end of the day, if you're joining my league, you will know that travel is a must. And if that's something that your team cannot do, then that's on you and your well wishes to go somewhere else. But I'm going to be letting known that, yeah, you're going to have to travel. Your team is going to have to travel, and these are your commute. I'll make sure everybody knows the routage and the hourage of what's your longest commute or what would be the commute if teams stay and it breaks down. Because that's what a lot of owners want to look at too. Because again, we don't make money off of this as owners. As owners, we lose money. Everybody loses money. There's not one owner that really makes money on here. And that's okay because it just shows that we do it for the love of the sport and the love of the guys. So it is what it is. But to say that, like Spence just said, I don't want to travel every week 4 hours. I'd rather travel 2 hours and travel that every week, so
Now, here's the thing. This I do disagree with you, which if I disagree with you, it means that you're wrong and I'm correct.
absolutely.
Is that with the dynamics of a schedule, you can actually accommodate travel for the teams that really are with it. And you can accommodate less travel for the teams that are not with it. So this goes to my second kind of I guess it would be a tenet or a pillar of semi-pro shopping, which is stop looking around at what other people have or don't have, because the schedule will never be balanced, never, because your budgets aren't balanced. Who you are is not balanced. No, not everybody's coming from the same place. Not everybody has the same history or what have you. So if the team next to you is not traveling, who gives a shit? If you're with it and you can travel and it adds to your resume, then do it. Do what's best for you. And I think a league owner like Mason does this. When he's putting the schedule together, I know he's keeping those factors in play, especially when it comes to travel. For the newer teams, they're not going to send them, a 5-hour trip on their first
Right,
week, being that they're a
right.
brand new team. So I think that players especially don't understand that. So like when they look at the schedule, they're like, well, why did they? Because they're used to like the NFC East where you play, the other teams in the division twice, and then the common opponents, and everything is completely
Right.
balanced. That's just not the case in semi-pro. Now, here's the thing. One of the things that I absolutely loved about the EFA, please correct me if I'm wrong, Spencer, that you still do this, is the schedule selection by the teams. I always loved that because it is literally the league giving you a tool to create a schedule that's going to get your goals accomplished. So as I was directing the Gators and we were going over the schedule, it was, hey, look, there's certain teams that if I play them, I know I'm going to beat them by 60, so let's not even waste our time. We're not choosing them. I would even put a phone call into them like, hey, look, don't choose us on the schedule. Like, you have nothing to prove. We're good. We're trying to take the number 1, number 2, number 3, home and home, and then, the rest. We don't even have to play you guys. Let's just kind of move on. Is that what you're still doing over at the EFA there, Sean?
So that's a core facet of what we do in the EFA, and I'll even explain why it is, because originally what we always would have arguments that, oh, the league rig the schedule in favor of this team or rig the schedule in favor of that team. And it was just super annoying, man. Every year is always that same conspiracy. Why I got to go to the Seminoles 3 times, or why I got to play, why do I have to play this team in the beginning of the season, or whatever the fuck it is. Or they would always ask for, I want these home dates, and home dates are important to some teams. Some teams don't have access to a field all year round. They only have like a brief window. So we gave them the opportunity to make those things happen. And like you said, another core facet, like you mentioned, if a team wants to play 5 home games in a row and wants to play a certain team, 2 times a year, then they'll pick them. If a team wants to avoid a team, they won't pick them. And just giving them the agency, the ability to pick teams or pick their own schedule and control their home dates is, you know what, it's a lot, honestly, it's a little bit of a headache, but for a lot of, it gives us a lot of freedom. So I'll take the little bit of headache for the 2 weeks that it takes to write a schedule, and then for the freedom that we have all year of having conspiracy theories and guys not getting what they want. And listen, if we had more teams, it would be a lot more balanced schedule. The schedule would be a lot easier to go to make it exactly the way we want, but that requires us getting more teams, which is something we're working on. So
So Kevin Brown in the comments, how can we make it to where New York, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Chi-Town top teams can play each other? By having all the teams play at a neutral site. And what I would say is, if you were to, especially with league owners collaborating, if you're able to get I say you would probably need a team. Again, this is just all theory based. A team in Pittsburgh that has a field, kind of like a foothold on the area, a
Mhm.
following as well in terms of like a team that gets a lot of fans, like basically like a Shamrocks team back in the day, or a Racine type of team, or a Brooklyn Seminoles type of Kings Bay deal, where it's like you have like the key to the facility type of thing, and just I would start with one weekend a year where you just bring everybody out, match up the teams, and just play all weekend. If you could do it twice, then I think you would solve a lot of the big dogs versus the big dogs. But again, not all the big dogs have big time budgets, and some of the guys that are up and coming, if they were to take a Pittsburgh trip and play a Michigan team or an Indiana team, that would bolster the sport here in New York, because then you could add that to your resume. So, like, what am I comparing to? If I'm a young and upcoming team, the Seminoles go to Florida every year. I don't do that. So what opportunities do I have as a owner? Well, I don't have any opportunities unless I make them myself. Now, you have 2 owners on right now that make their own opportunities often. So, like, you got the Golden Lions going to Vegas. You got the Wolfpack and the Demon Knights going to Vegas, going to Iceland, which apparently might be a state, or if we can figure out the difference between Iceland and Greenland. Sorry about that. Really,
we
politics
might
aside.
accidentally invade.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Uh,
shit.
you have teams going to Texas. That is a major recruiting bump, and teams that have done that have ended up becoming better the following season because of it. But I think, yeah, Pittsburgh's an easy road trip. I've done it before. There's a lot of nice facilities in Pittsburgh. I think that would kind of be like the midway point, so to speak, or somewhere like Carlisle, Pennsylvania, or something in the middle of Pennsylvania, where you would just cheap hotels, like one of them, some one of them like $75 night type hotels. Just get the thing done, and then play ball. So I think that would
Pat,
be
do you want me to?
interesting.
I'm going to disparage you from being wrong and claiming that you're right on your own show.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I need to check you for a second. The reason
Okay.
that it's not happening is because we have fake national champions, right? We have a system that is created that is run by opinions, and these games don't need to happen for certain teams to be crowned the national champion. So there are teams are going to duck playing these games that we all keep saying we want to see, right? Teams are going to duck that. They're going to avoid it because it ruins their chance to be a national champion if they lose. And they just don't want to take the risk. Some teams, listen, some teams have guys and coaches with, balls of steel. They want to play whoever. They'll put whatever on the risk, they'll risk whatever. But then some teams have a little bit more cagey owners, and they're going to say, hey, listen, we don't want it. We're not going to take that risk.
Yeah, I think that if the Nationals, which they're starting to do, by the way, define those other vacation games as what they are, which is vacation games and
They're
bowl
bowl games.
games.
They're a bowl
Right.
game. I played. Yeah, I played. Listen, you know what's crazy? Without any conversation, without any lead in, without any coordination, Kev's going to play a game in Vegas, and he's calling it the East West Bowl. Who's won 11 East West Bowls in this conversation?
I have not. What are you
I
about? What about you, Kev?
I
Nope.
have.
Okay.
Only one.
I played in Vegas 11 times and won 11 times in Vegas. So like, and we didn't.
I've won in Vegas. It was an all-star team, but I have won in Vegas. I've won in Vegas.
No, but this is what I'm saying. We didn't. We created those games. Those games were created games. Those are bowl games. We created them. We didn't have to we didn't have to wait for somebody else to sit around and make the game, or we didn't wait for some magical system to say, hey, listen,
Indeed.
yeah,
Well,
we created the game.
by the way, I think by establishing that, like, again, I like the national championship thing, even if it's debatable amongst, X amount of teams. If it's debated amongst 30 teams, that's pretty whack. But if we could get it down to like 5 teams that have a claim, I think you're doing something. I think we legitimately have 2 teams that can claim to be the best in the land right now. I'm okay with that. I think there's better ways to do it, and the way that we got to it was kind of roundabout based on the scenarios and such.
But
But I
Pat,
think that if you hold on, I think that if you stress these other games amongst the lower teams to settle who's best in the preliminaries, I think that it goes to help, and it's a lot of clarity. Because again, I went to a couple NEAFL games last year, and my eyes were wide open. Like what I thought the level of football wasn't what I was seeing. So I think more of those games where people are seeing each other, you'll find out who is the real deal and who's not.
well, Pat, let me pose you this question, right? Just when the Seminoles were supposed to play Lockport, right?
Mhm.
Was there any confusion who was the better team before they played?
Before they played there, I think there was legitimate confusion. Yeah.
There was
Right.
debatable conversations.
Exactly, right? Nobody knew it. It's the Seminoles thought they were going to win, and Lockport thought they were going to win. You know what I'm saying? Like there was definitely conjecture, right? There was no, and then they said, hey, listen, we don't want conjecture. We want to know who the better team is, and they made a game happen, and they played the game. Same thing with the Northeast Bulls and the Bandits.
Hold on. So let me push back for a second. That Bulls Bandits game I called pretty much dead on, by the way. In terms of
Right,
how
but there
they
were
set.
mad
Wait,
people in the
hold on for a second. If before the Lockport Knowles game, if we had the data from, let's say, 3 of Lockport's opponents playing 3 of the Seminoles opponents that particular year, or within
right.
the last 2 years, I think we would have been able to predict the outcome of the game a lot better than what we could have.
Correct.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is that we've been so focused, not you, but, and funny enough, what you're saying is exactly what I'm saying, which is if you open up more of those bowl opportunities
Right. So it's not just
inside the
champ or
season.
champ.
Correct. I think if we make it more normalized. In fact, maybe even just don't call them bowl games because it gets too whatever. Just crossover weeks and this league versus that league. Just play football, and that way we have a better idea. But again, we could possibly yeah, we could probably get a better indication on who is who, not based on the champs always playing, but everybody along the line playing. So my next question is, we're moving on. What will the league do to protect me from other teams? Raggedy teams, enforcement of rules. This probably is my favorite question because ultimately, aside from the 5-star, we're not going to go into a diatribe about the 5-star because everybody knows how great it was. 5-star was owners being accountable to other owners because the owners of the team were also owners of the league. So if Sean, or if I did something raggedy, Sean could hold me accountable directly. Now, no other league before or since in this region has had that type of format. So ultimately, I am paying the league, and I have a fiduciary relationship with the league, and these other teams have a separate fiduciary relationship with the league. If they do something raggedy, I'm not going after them because that's not what I'm paying my money for. So what are you gonna do to protect me from their raggedy shit? What do you got, Kev? What do you think?
That's a tough one because that's exactly what I can say what we talked about in a little piece of our league meeting ourselves. It's what can you do to protect the integrity of us and the teams that are here from new teams coming in, you know, and it's all about setting boundaries and bylaws, that have to be applied, and as long as you stick your ground to them, I think they can work, with right-minded owners, like you said. MLF has some great owners that held each other accountable. I think we do got a good bunch of owners in our Big East. Everybody wants the same vision. There's not really too much back and forth. Everybody just wants to play football. So I think more so it just balances out. And just setting the guidelines in black and white before having anybody put paper or put money down on wood. You know what I mean? That way you have a clear understanding of what's going on. And again, if you as an owner don't feel that that applies to you or if that works for you, you have the right to leave and go find somewhere else that's going to be more suitable for your team.
Now let me cut you right there, though, because if a team is doing something raggedy, this is opinion, and if you disagree with my opinion, you would be incorrect. Um, so many times. Oh, now you're listening. The hose thing she didn't pick up on. Gotcha. You're acceptable to hose, but me being right is unacceptable. That's awesome. So, sorry. When it comes down to it, how many times does raggedy shit on behalf of the team get passed off as the league
Always.
being bad?
Always.
Always. The league is always going to get fought for it.
Always. Yeah. I think that's the biggest reason why whenever the league conversation comes up, people kind of roll their eyes because the differences in leagues, not that much. It's really about who you're in the league with.
Sure.
You know,
Listen, but that's a little bit of a cop out though. Like it's fair to say what you're saying, but there is a lot of structural difference between the leagues. I'll give you a perfect example. I'll give you a perfect example. In the EFA, right? This is just my shameless plug, right? In the EFA, in every year that we have had, we've handed out a $5,000 check to the champions. Didn't matter if we had 10 teams or if we had 5 teams. We've handed out a $5,000 check every single time. Zero fuck ups. Nobody ever didn't get paid.
gotcha.
0 times, right? And then and that's just a check. How many times have we heard in the past of some league didn't pay their champion?
A lot.
Right.
This is all the time. It's like every year some league somewhere is jipping somebody out of money that they earned.
Now let me go ahead and say that's some raggedy shit. Now here's the thing, and I don't want to pass the buck, but let me just go back to the origin point. Most times and let me first say this. Kudos to the EFA because they always pay their champion 100% valid. 100% valid. Good job by them. 5K, regardless of how much they collected, they cover up for
It's the structure of the
owners.
league. It's the structure of the league. It's promises made, promises kept, right? That's what we're talking about, right? Promises made, promises kept.
Here's the thing, right? For the leagues that don't do that or can't do that, if that money was there from teams paying their bills, they would have paid it. Now they don't. I'm acknowledging that part 100%, but that still ends up being the origin story of their fuck up is not in a league fuck up, but a team fuck up. So raggedy stuff by teams is 99 problems, probably the 100th as well when it comes to leagues. Kevin, do you agree or disagree?
Agree. 100%. It's the teams that make the league look bad. It starts it starts from the top. It starts with us owners. If we let shit slide on our team, it's gonna slide into the games. Now we see it. Back then, from what I'm hearing, like I said, I wasn't in semi-pro as long as you guys. I've only been here for 5 years and only 3 years being an owner. But back then, from what I heard, you guys didn't have all this media shit. You know, you didn't have all these people filming on your games and doing highlights and shit like that. Yeah, you had a couple,
It
whatever, you
wasn't
know.
accessible though.
But right, it wasn't
Yeah,
accessible.
but see, here's the funny thing is, I think it was more based on the team. Like the team did its own media. The team cared enough about its own product to do its own pictures,
Right,
its own video. There was never an expectation that the league was that was part of what the league should do.
Except in
right,
five star.
100%. But now,
And now, oh, sorry,
now
hold on
the
one second.
league is
Five
offering.
five star that wasn't true right away because I
No,
literally
but we
drove
changed it.
through. Yeah, that was me. Stop that. Go ahead. What you got, Kev?
I give
But
you a lot of
now,
credit for it.
but like you said, now it's changed. So now the leagues are offering media. So now, as an owner,
Offering. Whoa.
hold
Offering.
not so okay, not okay. So let's say offering. When I say offering, they have weekday games or games of the week that they're gonna be that when and
Yeah,
now when I
I'm
say
I,
offering,
I'm not.
they're the
So
ones
what they're offering,
supplying the funds for
sir.
these media people.
Hold on. Offer has a definition.
Let's not say offer. That's not. Let me change the definition. I forgot. We have to be very technical
Uh-huh.
on this show. So let me use the correct word. The league supplies one game of the week. So that means as an owner, I know that I probably, let's say me and Sean, we have an opportunity to be on live. We know who's going to be filming it, who's going to be doing it. We know what's going on, da da da. So now, if me or Sean have some knuckleheads on our team that we know we can't control or we know they're going to be acting up stupid, that's a chance that's going to look bad on the league. And that starts with us. Even though it's our team that's doing it and we're the owners and all, it still looks bad on the league because the league broadcasted that. The league put that together. So either way you look at the league is always going to look bad, but it always stems from us as owners. If you have good owners who dictate their team and hold their team accountable, their players accountable, their coaches accountable, even their fans accountable. You know, if you have owners like that, then it's a smooth sailing ship.
I
You know,
don't
it
think it
really
is.
can.
Let me disagree and let me disagree and be right. Sean Spencer, how much was the league fee the first year, the 5 star?
I don't remember. Was it $1,000?
$1,000. Sean Spencer, how long ago was that?
2010.
2010. So 2010 league fee was $1,000. How much is league fee today for the EFA?
$900.
So let me rewind that for a second, right? For some of you that didn't get that, right?
Rules changed.
In 2010, the league fee was $1,000. It did not
And we have more
include.
teams.
It
And we
did
have more
not.
teams.
We have more teams, and it did not provide media.
Okay, but let's be
hold on,
fair.
no, don't do that, don't do that. Media was not in the budget, and by the way, it's not just a 5 star thing. Most league fees in general, right? EFA aside, 5 star aside, MLF the same. League fee in 2010, league fee from 2005 has always been in or around $1,000, between $800 and $1,200.
Yes.
In literally over a decade, damn near 2 decades, the league fee has not gone up. However, the expectation to pay for a line item in your budget, which takes up a ton of money, has absolutely changed. So, how on earth can anybody figure in security, figure in media, figure in just inflation if you are collecting the same amount of money that you were collecting in 2006? Kevin,
So, yeah, Kev.
that's why when you said the word offer, I'm like, how are you offering? Because the
No, you're right.
referee fee has not gone down; it has gone up.
It's gone up. No, I can agree with that. I touche on that. I can agree on that. But that's the
Isn't that
thing about it.
crazy?
So
Wait.
now,
I need you to reflect on that for a second. That league fee in 2006 was $1,000.
right.
20 years ago, the league fee was the same and did not include media. So how on earth is the expectation like this is a failed business model, is it not?
But again, you got to think about it. 20 years ago, those guys were more into playing football.
Sir.
You know, those guys were into the media. Like it wasn't big. Now the
Well, that's
players
not what's
are
being
trying to
asked,
get
sir.
away.
What's being
Asked is what, and by the way, in 2006, in those leagues, there was not a purse given out. The first league to give out a purse to the winner was Five Star. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sean.
I don't know if we were the first league, but in the area, we definitely nobody else had a purse when we brought the purse in.
Gotcha. So
In 08, 06, or whatever like that, we were paying $1,000 a season without any purse for a champion. So literally added a purse, added media, added inflation, added referees going up, all of these costs for the same $1,000. That doesn't sound like it would ever work. And
So then,
transportation is more expensive now than it
What are
was
you
then.
saying?
but Pat,
The money has to go up for the league.
no, yes and no, but this is so. Let me interject because like there's a little bit of shady stuff here. Like not shady, but there's a little bit of like we're not being transparent, right? Now we have the guys now we have guys registration on hosted and stuff like that or whatever, league engine, sports engine, whatever it's called. So there is more money.
or purse,
Right, but I'm saying, but there's more, but there is more, but there is more money. There is more money coming in, but there is also more money going out, like way more money going out.
20 years?
Yeah,
Like
listen.
literally, and I'm gonna coin this phrase. However process I need to do to copyright this. I know we had a copyright conversation. I am copywriting this right now. Semi-pro in Arizona. Ice-T are the only. Yeah, semi-pro in Arizona is the only thing that is inflation proof. You heard it here first.
So listen, but in fairness to everybody else, like when we started Five Star because RAFL, the owners of the RAFL, they really couldn't give us a good answer why we were paying $1,500 because that league was $1,500 and we had 40 teams. Right, we had 40 teams. We were paying $1,500, and we didn't get anything other than a website and the schedule. That's what we got. They didn't even pay for the refs in the championship game. So that's why we started Five Star because we were like, "Yo, we're getting robbed. These people are making money." The RAFL started when we took the 40 teams out of the NAFL. The NAFL had 110 teams. Robert Copley was making $300,000 a year. He was charging us $1,500 a team. And we got a schedule. That's it.
Sheesh. Interesting.
So now when we give people the world and they still complain, it's like, yo, dude, like, again, I don't want to be that old guy that's like, back in my day it was much tougher. But it genuinely was. You had to have your own camera. You had to buy your own video camera, spend $800 for a video camera, pay somebody to film the game. It wasn't edited. It was shit. You know what I mean? Like now it's like you could film the game from like your phone. There's AI. I have on my sideline, I have an AI camera that we put up on a pole and it films the whole game. We don't have like we don't miss a play anymore.
Monty, to answer your question, no league has really given that much. Like going to nationals or going to a travel game, putting your team on a plane, unless you're talking about in excess of $5,000. $5,000 puts a dent in it, but I don't. But in terms of sponsoring the trip, like not coming out of pocket, shit, no. Hey, what's going on, Spina?
What's going on?
How's everything, sir?
Good. I wanted to jump in. I've been listening. I wanted to jump in on what Sean just said.
Talk to me.
You're saying that the league fees haven't been raised. First of all, when I was in the Five Star, I joined in 2013. I know what was going on prior. Yeah, they collected that money, but the championship venue was real. In other words, getting Mitchell Field is not doing what these guys are doing today. That was an expensive field to have a championship venue. Number two is these leagues are making more than double, even though the price hasn't gone up for the teams. They're collecting the money, as Sean's point, they're collecting the money from the players. So you do the math on 10 teams, 50 per team, $25. You do that math. You know, that's well over 10 grand. Well over 10 grand.
Well, that's if everybody registers 50, but your point is correct. Like you're
on the
100%
average,
accurate.
right, on the average, whatever it is.
Right.
So they are more than doubling that league fee. They're just getting it in a different way.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see again, I'm again shamelessly going to plug my league. Like, my league gives out a $5,000 purse, so right there is more than we collect in league fees last year from the teams. You know what I mean? Like, it exceeded the league fees from the teams. So some leagues are structurally better than others, and I'm going to shamelessly plug my league every time I get a chance. And you guys keep giving me this opportunity, so I thank you. But like, listen, not every league is equal. That's just the reality. The reality is not every league is equal. Some leagues, they have great management and they have good conflict resolution all year long and whatever. And then some leagues, it's a fucking disaster. And I'll field calls all year long from some people, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm never fucking. Well, you got a spot. I'm never going back." And it's like, all right, bro. Like Patterson says, when you send me the money, send me a $500 deposit, and I'll entertain your spot.
Now, here's the
Right.
thing, and I will say this, right?
And if you disagree with me, you know the vibes. You're wrong. I think that it's a mistake for leagues to collect money directly from players because
I disagree with that.
I think it creates a fiduciary agreement between the league and the player, which leads to a lot of nonsense of players blaming leagues and rerouting around the authority of teams and reporting directly to leagues. And leagues can't sit there and go, "Oh, it's not us," and cover for, which historically, as we agreed before, Spina, you might disagree, that most of the problems of semi-pro leagues rest within the raggediness of the teams participating in them.
Right, but listen, Pat, to your point, and I know there's a minimum of two good union guys in this conversation right now. You have to have an investment to be involved in some kind of a organization. If you're involved in organizing, you have to have an investment. Just like a union takes dues, you're not paying for a membership. It's not a membership. You're paying.
Yeah,
You're supporting the
also
organization that supports you. So
yeah,
the
you're also
players should have
assuming.
a.
Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. You're
Also assuming that like even a $10 bill or a $15 bill, it's not much to me, it's not much to anybody on this call, but that's not the same reality for other people. And we do
I
have
feel
to
you, but a nominal investment is mandatory.
hold on for a second.
we
You
do.
have to acknowledge that whether we agree or not, the players believe that if they put $15 in or $20 in hosted, that grants them the authority or the right to be critical and to have some say. I mean, I disagree with that, which is why I'd rather collect the $20 from each of my players and give it to the league directly, so that if there's an issue, my player just comes to me and then I go to the league. That's just my personal opinion. What you got?
Listen, I feel what you're saying, but I think everybody should have an investment. There should be an investment to the league. And listen, the players are gonna feel entitled to criticize the league when the league fails, whether they give the $25 or $30 or whatever or not.
No, I think that is
Vastly changed, has changed dramatically since player, because they say, "Where's my money going?" I've never, like, you never heard that prior, where players were so adamant about
Well,
where's
the
my
league's
money
got to have an
going.
answer to that.
and
No,
and what's that?
the league has to have an answer to that. No.
The league, again, if you isolate the fiduciary responsibility between team owner and league owner, then how many times do I say this? In running Pioneer, I would say speak to your team owner, because here's the thing: not all team owners disseminate all the information to their players. Not all team owners want to frame the information the same exact way to their players, and I don't want to sit there and get involved in the relationship that you have with your players. I know Spina. I think Spina's going to agree with me on this one. If the league is communicating with players and they are giving them a different message than what you're giving them, it gets very frustrating and such. Yeah.
As long as they're communicating as per the bylaws. So you're mentioning to me, I may disagree with you about raggedy teams.
Oh, no, that was before you got on here.
Right. Well, raggedy teams. I don't know if that's the problem, but raggedy leagues is definitely the problem.
Ooh.
You know, we want to join a league. When I say we, teams, I hope I'm speaking for other teams, that has structure, that has full structure, not changing the schedule midway through the season, the problems that happen with championship venues.
Okay, that one I'll give you. The first one, I think.
okay.
purse money and things like that.
Okay.
You know, there's definitely problem leagues.
Okay.
You know, and
I would say 50% of what you just said is on a team doing some raggedy things to cause the league that issue, and the other 50% is a league issue. Okay, I grant you that.
well, is the league letting that raggedy team cause the issues? Is that
Ah,
part of it?
Right.
If they have a
ooh,
structured league and bylaws,
You're
is that
more of
part
an
of it?
egg person. I'm more of
a chicken person. I get it. Okay, I got you.
Well, I'm both. I get
Interesting.
what you're saying with the raggedy teams, but you know,
So you
there's
rather have the
also
chicken than the eggs? Okay,
there's also raggedy leagues.
I appreciate
Have
that.
to say.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is this: I'm gonna drop all you guys from the line, and I'm gonna get another guest up here because we're gonna talk specifically about leagues. I don't want anybody tipping their hand and having undue influence on this when it comes to the discussion about the PFA.
More
And
subs.
what's up?
More subs. Carry on.
Nope, I said nobody, including you. So,
Roger.
I'm gonna drop you first. There you go. Cool. And then I'm gonna drop you second. Cool. Bye, Coach Spina.
All right.
All right. So now, hold on. You said more subs. That was adorable. Where's my man? Yo, Drewski. Need you on here, fella. All right. So there we go. I don't see Drewski on my. Drewski, you better be in. Give me a second. Sorry about the delay. Interesting conversations. Let's talk about it. True. There we go. All right. Oh, where is it? Summer's off. Yeah, true story. All right. So what I would say, a lot of the where's Drewski? Drewski, send the request, please. All right. So PFA announced yesterday, the day before, about coming into the New York area, tri-state area, doing the East Coast region and what have you. Altogether, I would say that in general, regardless of what league you're going into, which league you're shopping for, we need to have expectation for teams. We need to have expectations that the team owners are going to do what they need to do in order not to drag down a league. And leagues should know which teams have a habit of dragging down leagues and making leagues look bad. I know oftentimes the league kind of covers up for the teams, and even in here, the players kind of, even though they know they're on a raggedy team, they don't acknowledge that and just decide to blame the league instead, which is kind of bizarre, but you know, it happens. Where are we going with this? Brewski. I thought I was getting my man Drewski. So I'm going to talk about him without him being here. So that's what I'm going to do. So one of the people that I would say in general, and you saw we had East Coast Locker Room up here, who is the guru of New England, very knowledgeable. He does run a team and does some administrative stuff, behind the scenes stuff. But overall, the man is very knowledgeable. He puts the work in. He has his ear to the ground, so to speak, when it comes to all things New England. I think it's about time that the New York semi-pro football community just understands and recognizes this gentleman for as knowledgeable as he is and as even behind the scenes influential as he is, that if you are going to do business in New York, the easiest way to be successful in general, regardless of if you're from here or not, is to get Drewski on board. Please do me a favor. If you disagree with me, say you disagree with me.
Can you do me a favor by opening this ketchup? Try first. Sorry.
If you if you disagree with me, totally understand. Just understand that you're wrong. If you're doing business in the region, the first person that you should contact is Drewski. And there you go.
Bye. Nice doing work
Yeah.
with you.
Pleasure doing business with you. And when you contact Drewski, getting his expertise on the layout of the region, that's what you should do. Whether you're EFA, whether you're PFA, whether you're Big East, whether you're any AFL, whatever it is, NEFL, contact Drewski. Get on the phone with Drewski and just listen. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Because when it comes to the insight, the nuances, and the predictability of some of the things that we see in this landscape, Drewski's got it. And I think that's a lot of what has been missing of late to be able to steer this thing in the direction that we need it to go are people that are not affiliated with teams, don't have a vested interest in certain teams being successful on the field, but from a business standpoint and from a, hey, what up, my guy?
I know I'm gonna get mad jokes. Fuck y'all niggas. 280, baby. What up, Patty G's?
What up,
Hey,
man?
how you doing?
Ain't shit, dude.
So I was
How you
just
doing,
saying,
brother?
I'm doing well. So, you've been listening to the show so far?
Yes, sir. Love it. Amazing.
Got it. So my league shopping experience, my 4 questions. How much do you know about the region? Can you create me a schedule that lets me accomplish my goals? What can the league do to protect me from these other teams in the league? And number 4, what value
Am I getting for my fee? Those 4 things.
things will decide whether I join a league or not? And Taco Beatrice is crazy. And I'd say, and I firmly believe this.
That in order to answer those 4 questions effectively as a league admin, the first person that I have to pick up the phone and call is Drewski.
Thank you, brother.
So my
Question to
Appreciate
you is, what are you doing this year? What's your plans for this year? Because I don't understand how every league has not put in a phone call
and try to figure out how they can, if not behind the scenes, get you on staff, get you on payroll, whatever it is, because you can make things shake. It's pretty obvious.
All right, so ironically enough, thank you, brother. Appreciate that. I just had a very long conversation with my brother, my blood brother, TYJ Visuals. I know most people know, but everybody doesn't know. And basically, starting with Big East season, because Big East contacted him shouts to Big East, by the way. Big East contacted him for a full season contract. So they haven't worked out all the logistics within like the game distributions and etc. But he already messes with like 4 or 5 teams in the Big East on a personal level. So I know that all of them have to be covered, and none of those teams are top teams. You feel me? So he messes with like not no disrespect. I mean, like, they're not championship contenders necessarily. You feel me? So he got Crusaders, Dolphins, Spence, and one more. Oh, and the Staten Island, the Shaolin Hurricanes. So basically, you said me, but you know, I'm gonna invite you, and I know you're gonna come. So pause. We're gonna basically start to do my. It's not again. It's we're gonna do it, but we're working out the logistics. You're gonna be a part of the logistical component too. Maybe we'll speak about it starting now. But the vision is like you already know Eric does the actual like action shots and like recording and etc. We want to also start to do a play-by-play live stream with someone like you being the like voice of the calm, you know, the what's that douchebag Republican dude, the Texas dude, Joe Buck. You be like the Joe. You be like the Joe. No, you're nothing like Joe Buck, but you already know. You'll be the calming, like stat man, et cetera, the play-by-play guy. And then like my vision is like I'm on field, like sideline to sideline. I'm 50 to 50. Not there's only 150. Goal line to goal line. You feel me? Like both sides of the field, just like fully interacting while also helping you with play-by-play. While Eric is also simultaneously gonna be doing like all of his visuals and etc. You feel me? And like I said, shouts to the Big East. They contacted him to the point of what you said. Maybe they could throw me some gas money or something, bro. I ain't tripping, man. Like, like we gonna get the money. We gonna YouTube and do all that other stuff. You feel me? But yeah, bro. So that's what we're gonna plan. We're planning to do now, starting with the Big East, and then going forward. I want to do high school. I want to do Pee Wee. We want to do all the football, as well as the semi-pro component never affects anything. You feel me? So it's like the timing and just the way everything's moving now. That's what we're gonna do with it, bro. And like I said, shouts to the Big East from when you were part of the starting it a few years ago to now, legitimately like taking all the steps to really like control like the spring scenes on our side. You feel me? Like, word. No disrespect to John, because John is like South Jersey South. It's not a knock on any AFL. Those are collaborators, brothers. But New York was lacking real bad. We was crying like a year and a half ago. You feel me? Y'all only see the bottom of my face.
Yeah, it gives you extreme close up when you're on
My
the
fault.
dual camera.
Word. But yeah, dude. So
Slide back a little bit.
Nah, hold on. I got y'all. Boom. Right there. But word, dude. Yeah, so that's what we doing, man. Like basically we're gonna collaborate and incorporate the things we're doing and have been doing with the things Eric's doing for the semi-pro scene. Like I said, we're gonna start with the Big East. The Big East contacted Eric for a full season contract. They're literally just negotiating logistics, not even anything else. So I know that's gonna be a go. And yeah, we're gonna use that as like the sort of free pilot after the first Big East season. Y'all gotta come with some money. We gonna turn y'all up. It's not gonna be for free, but we gonna turn y'all up. So y'all gonna make some money too. Hopefully, you feel me? But yeah, man, that's what the plan is. And then in regards to what you were saying, any dot connecting, any question for anybody, literally from shouts to Crow now down to Virginia, all the way up to friggin' upstate New Hampshire, all that good stuff. We got people. So if you need any help, even if it's not me, it probably won't be me. I'll probably point you to one of my mans immediately. But I can guarantee you I will always point you in the right direction and help you get the ball rolling. Pause.
You're looking like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
You're right now. Can you put the camera up?
I don't know what to do, bro. Let me see. It's not me. Let me see.
You rather shoot too high than too low. Pause.
Right, oh, we good now?
Further up.
It looks like for my camera, it looks like I'm normal.
Don't worry about
your camera. Back up.
That's what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Back up.
All right. I got y'all.
All right, cool.
So I'm just we're gonna wrap the show with this, because again, I've told the people, get in touch with
Drewski. Listen to this man,
because ultimately the key to
my shorty gave me the stand. Hold on, bro. I got the stand now. Now we living like Gen Z. Oh yeah, it's lit. You can see me?
I can see. Hold on. No, stop moving. Yeah, you were fine. Yeah, you're fine. Okay, we'll do. Yes, that's fine. All right. So I told everybody, Drewsy got the key to New York right now. That's what it is. If you
try to
maneuver in New York, and you get, the city will do things to you. You know what I'm saying? I tried to give you a tour guide. I tried. You got what I'm saying? I tried.
For sure.
So if you don't put in the call, all I'm saying is that on Way Too Early with Pat, I love to, let everybody know when I was right and what I was right about, and I'll be specific. So, going down the question, the 4 questions. Watch this. I'm just gonna say, I say things, but then look at how it's proven. I'm gonna put you
feet to the fire right now.
Talk about it.
All right, you're starting
a league right now, the Drewski Football League, the DFL, right? Okay, cool. How much do you know about the region? What's unique about New York semi-pro that's different than these other places? You got a minute to answer.
What's unique about New York semi-pro that's different than these other places? We have 5 boroughs: Long Island, the Upper Westchester region, Yonkers, etc., as well as upstate and downstate. I think it's a downstate too. We have all those regions covered within our immediate jurisdiction, and even when you're playing in town, there's a real good possibility you could still be taking a 2-hour drive. There's plenty of opportunities and space to find a good game within just the 5 borough scheme. If you want to, if you're a more startup squad, we got great squads that meet that sort of
Who's a
criteria to
good
give you a
startup
great game.
squad? Give me a name.
A good startup squad. My favorite startup squad is the Shaolin Hurricanes. If I had to immediately spew a name out off the top of my head, the Hurricanes.
What impressed? Go ahead. You're about
to answer before I even said, look how nice my man is. He's about to answer a question I was about to ask. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm the guy to say.
They got amazing uniforms. They got a great home field. They got a really proactive and interactive with youth and an old head ownership group. They got a really good young hungry team with a bunch of 20-something and younger dudes. They're on Staten Island, so it's not the most densely populated borough for football in the semi-pro area right now. So they're gonna have the potential to pull.
You're giving away too much. I told you.
My fault, bro. My fault, bro.
Number 2. If you were creating a schedule for a new team like the Hurricanes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's call it the New York Giraffes, right?
Mm-hmm.
The New York Giraffes are starting. What would you have their first 3 games be, and why? Give me home versus away, and why?
Okay. Well, just current structure now. I would try to set up like a quality opponent game that's winnable, to start. So quality opponent, you think about a team like the Brooklyn Bengals or the Crusaders. They're always gonna show up. They're always gonna field a solid team. They're always gonna start and finish a game is not usually going to be no BS, even though we always got BS. That's everybody. That's not specific to them at all. So they're like a good
team. You can't take
BS on your first game.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. So it's
beautifully done. Beautiful.
Yeah, bro.
Keep cooking, bro. I'm gonna
stop you in a second, guys.
Yeah. So I would say a team you go Crusaders or maybe even both. You said first 3 games, so we'll frame 3 games. First 2 games, if you're lucky enough to get in tune with Edgy, you catch the Bengals because they're always looking for games. Then you go hit Tawan up, yo, Tawan, I heard great things about your organization. I aspire to be like you guys in my whatever year in my process. Let's do a game if you with it. I would do the Bengals game at Staten Island just because you have a good field. And then, like I said, with respect to the Crusaders, they always put on a good show outside of the football. They give you a good environment by semi-pro standards. So you play them away. And then you got to have a know where you at in the process game. So in my opinion, I'm from a different cloth, old school, but you might want to play against a more established squad where it's aspirational things now. All right, like a Brooklyn Pharaohs, let's say. You're going to get your ass kicked. You might be the Pharaohs' first game. You might be the Appalachian State in their Michigan season. But, again now, look at Zion. Say hi, Zion. You're on camera.
Is this his debut?
Yeah, it might be.
My man. What up?
Crib it is. But word, though, dude. You get a really good championship caliber quality opponent.
You're giving too much now.
My fault, bro.
Number 3. It says, what will the league do to protect me from other teams? Now, this is
what I'm going to do, right?
Out of the whole Big East, how many owners do you not know? Don't know anything about them really? Never, at least they chilled with them. You never been at a game where you were speaking to them on the sideline? Nothing.
I literally know 11 out of 11. If there's 11, I know all 11. Even the new squad. The new squad being the Chiefs. Those are my guys. I played football against them. Those are my bros. EFA, same deal. I know all of them. If not, I know all of them. I can't.
Any other
I know all of them.
Bears?
Knowles. Anybody else who played the LAL teams from last year?
The former LAL, those are my guys. I played against most of the coaches and etc. Even a few of the players remaining. I know all the owners. Yes. So every single league.
How many
people that own a semi-pro team in the New York metropolitan area do you not know?
Literally at this point, probably less than 5%, 3%, 2%, less than 5% for sure. Probably somewhere in like the 2%
Can you
ratio.
name a
I
team
can't
that's
name any, but
zero?
I'm just giving a ratio. I
Then that would
can't
be
name
zero,
any.
sir. You give me.
So
You give
zero.
yourself not enough credit. Yeah, gotcha.
All
I'm
right,
cutting
so
you right there.
zero, Patty. I don't know. No,
There you
yeah,
go.
I can't think of
Now
one I
you
don't
see
know.
where I'm going with this.
Or you see where I'm going with this. So if you have a relationship with all of these owners, when they're doing raggedy things, they're not going to do raggedy things nearly as much when they have accountability to Drewski because those are his guys. When it comes down to it, if I'm a new owner and I'm trying to bridge a gap between me and the team that I'm playing, I put in a call to Drewski to bridge that gap because I
One
know
second,
that he
Patty.
knows them. Right now, in
Okay,
terms
I'm
of
on the chat. 1 second, baby. All right.
Mhm. In terms of value of what I'm getting for my fee, what are some of the things, like if you're starting a league, things that you would spend money on first and foremost? Give me your top three wish list.
Now keep in mind, you've seen a lot of leagues operate.
You've seen a lot of different models and stuff like that. So what are the first three things that you think a league should provide that teams will value?
Um, has to be a video component in regards to per game. I always hear the narrative of oh, it's so expensive and this and that. It's really not. It's not. It's not expensive to and even now with it being a semi-pro structure, right? You have a football team of guys that do a million different things. One of your guys is probably tech savvy, bro. You could set up a drone. You buy one drone one time for $400 off of friggin' eBay or something, and now you have a free cameraman at least to have your game tape ready for whatever league obligations or etc. You feel me? But I'll go a step further to answer it properly. I mean, you could pay your bro. Even I'm not gonna say my brother's fee because I already told him it's way too low. It's probably gonna increase soon. It's still gonna be way affordable, but someone like my brother, you could have had for, not a lot of money by any standards because you could structure it into whether it be the game fees being ref fees, et cetera, extra $3, $4, $5 a man gets you a cameraman, a really good one. And then now with the cameraman leads to the next thing, promotion. So now by doing one thing inherently, like for example, not to plug like how Sean was saying, pause my own people, but with TYJ, you pay him his fee one time, right? If you're one of the games that he did, and now he does the highlight breakdown, he's not going to withhold your highlights on his Facebook and Instagram and YouTube promotional platform that garners him thousands of dollars a month because it gets so much traction. No, so you're getting his traction as well. If you get Spin Move, not to just make it about my brother, someone like Spin or someone like Nia or someone like what's my homegirl out of Jersey? I always do this shit. But et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's people out here, even the old schools, Clark and et cetera. But for the full visuals, once you like contract these people or pay these people, it comes with them now promoting you on their platforms. So you're getting that bump. So it's like I would say
And
video.
if I'm a new owner and
I'm trying to get in your league. You have these people like accessible, like you could talk to them for me and then hook me up.
Yeah, 100%,
Wow,
bro.
look at this.
These are all my people. Every
okay.
single time I see Spin Move, he's usually tucked off in a corner somewhere, and I end up over here. Before halftime of every single game I see Spin Move, I make it to Spin Move. We talk for 2 minutes because he's really busy, and then I go on my way. So I got spit. Same thing with Clark. Same thing with In Motion. These are all my guys. These are all my guys. Some of them the OGs, some of them just the bros, but these are all my guys since I've been around. I've been around since like 2014 on the scene, 2013, 2012. I don't remember. The 2010s. So in that 15 years, I've made a lot of friendships, and I'm not a scumbag, so I kept on my friendships.
I like it. Okay.
Word. But I got
Anything
lost in the
else?
media. I pretty much all three answers are pertaining to media and promotion. Whether it be you need to now figure out the space to go and get players or look attractive to players or like find uniform men, like like all those type of things I think are major because you don't want to come out looking like a Sandlot squad or like you playing in practice jerseys, you know what I mean? So having a good jersey, a good colorway, off rip, Hey, what's up, brother?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing, man?
Good,
Hey,
good,
workout
good.
man, you doing good?
I'm chilling, man. You feel me? Chilling, bro. The snow. Can't go to the gym today. I'm tight, but
Mm.
Same way. My kid got me in the crib, man. It's good
go
though.
make
He
some
ain't gonna lie.
snow angels with him, man. I'm about to go make snow angels with wifey. You feel me?
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I might do that in a little bit.
All
Yo,
right,
Pat, you got like 10 inches out there, right?
whoa.
Yo,
Whoa!
Oh, I know it's crazy, man. It's crazy. What's up, though? What's the
Whoa, are you
conversation like?
serious?
you
That
gotta
was our
chill,
secret.
Chopper.
What?
Yo,
10 inches is
Chopper, you
crazy.
gotta chill.
Uh,
Oh, wait, I was saying pause? Oh, damn, my fault.
Yo,
My
yo,
fault.
you heard what you said, boy?
Yeah, nah, I ain't no YN. You feel me?
All right,
You feel
bet,
me?
respect.
Yeah.
All right, say that. So we
You
ain't gonna
feel
play
me?
that way. I thought you was down with that whole all your
I
mains and all
never
that.
got. I was talking about the snow, 10 inches.
my
You feel me?
God. Oh,
What's the word though? What we talking about, man? Season in a couple weeks, man.
I
Who you
thought he
playing
got
with? Let's talk about that real
Crusaders,
quick.
Crusaders,
All
Crusaders,
right,
man. I'm
bet.
locked
Big
in.
man, big man.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
All right.
Oh.
so we're talking about Drewski and how Drewski to me is the future of New York football.
You talking about as in like the hype, like him bringing in the hype with what's going on?
Now
Being
I'm
a
talking
dot
about like
connector.
no. He asked me a
I'm jacking
question,
that,
Drewski.
but not just
Who
you though. You feel
who
me? You gotta you
nah
Pat.
who else
Is
you
it,
know knowledgeable
And you know what really got me to this conclusion was seeing the PFA broadcast yesterday, because with
the PFA?
moving into the East Coast and trying to get New York teams and such, I'm hearing some of the conversation
And of course they have their sales
pitch
pitch.
and stuff, and Duncan does a very good job with the sales pitch. He just would need boots on the ground in New York. And if you don't know about New York and you come in with the bravado, we've seen this before.
yeah, niggas not gonna
Somebody who
jack it.
Yeah, like you can't come in and say New York's trash and New
So,
York's
so you
you
know what he should do? He
make
should talk to the
he
higher ups, the representatives of New York, which is y'all two right now. You feel me?
no, don't say y'all two.
as
No, no, no.
as
It's y'all. Pat, I like what you do, man. You feel me? I like what you do, bro. You keep us in tune with not just our inside league, but like even the Connecticut's and the Rhode Islands, and you feel me? Like, so I would say you a big impact on that too. You feel me? Drewski, they need to give like
It's
if they
time.
want to do that, you feel me? You let the higher ups from the town run it, like niggas
It's
that
time.
could make it happen. Like, see how we make the All-Star game happen? Shit like that. You feel me?
I think it's time.
Wow.
There's nobody that's more knowledgeable and
More connected than Drewski.
period. So like everybody else that's sitting there, like, and I don't want to hear the "Make New York Great Again" and New York Semi-Pro, because yeah, we talk about our own stuff and we talk about how New York Semi-Pro is dying, or like it's been dying for the last 30 years or
I don't think
whatever.
it's dying. I just think people mentality of it is. You feel me?
Right,
You
but
still
here's the
got
thing:
new talents coming out every year.
outsiders see it
That and they think that it's literally dying and that we're in
Yeah.
these dire straits and stuff.
and they come in like Captain Save-A-Ho.
And then we get this attitude of I know I have all the solutions, listen to me. And
Right.
meanwhile, if you just you pull up, grab a chair, pass the man a steak, and have him shoot the breeze with you for an hour or two.
The
Most
last
of
steak I
your
had was that day, Patty. Not the last steak, but the
They
last.
have. I feel like y'all should all have a meeting if the PFA want to do that because, to be honest, the only real league that's up and running and is really doing their thing is the Big East. I don't know about these other leagues from like Connecticut and stuff like that, but from
Yeah, but
playing
you a
from the
youngin'
summer
though,
to
Chop.
huh?
You missed you missed like not you didn't miss because you might have caught the tail end pause. You
Hmm.
feel me? But like the old school MLF and the old school 5-star Big East is starting to shape up like that. So it's like once you got something like that moving in a certain time space, you don't need nothing else to move because
Nah,
anything
that's
else
a
moving
fact.
gonna get what else can move in New
Yeah,
York?
that's a fact.
What else can move in New York
But
right now?
but what
Nothing.
the Big East commissioners and owners need to start doing is start spending that bag. You feel me?
They
You want to
do
make
though.
your
They
league.
do though. They do though. They do
They,
though.
they,
They
they,
do
they
though.
invest in their
You might
stuff.
not have heard, nigga.
Talk
Fucking
to me.
Mason hit E up for that full season package. Pause. Want to pay
Mm,
out right
yeah, yeah.
now?
That's what we need. We need niggas like
Yeah,
TYJ to like. You see
yeah.
what he's doing with these high
That's
school
about to
bro?
happen.
TYJ is getting these
Yeah.
high school kids Division 1 offers, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Got
and
Division
getting
One.
Pee Wee
Oh,
kids
Why we
into
are not
private
why
school.
we are not utilizing him? He started off with semi-pro. Why we are not utilizing him?
Nah, we are though
Everybody want
right
to be
now.
cheap, bro. You know what I mean?
We
did I
are
say
Pay
that?
though.
that man, bro.
Yes,
We
like
are.
literally, it's
And
Drewski will say,
again, credit
Drewski
to
will
Big
say,
East.
as soon as I heard he was available, I said, "What? How many
That's a
games we got
right.
left? Get him for all. I
that's a
don't care what the
fact.
cost is.
Roll it right now.
That's a
That's the
fact.
cost. Yeah,
That's a fact.
Yeah, you
minds. And I've been telling everybody else to do it, right? So when it
Salute.
comes down
So
to
Big
it,
East on that.
yeah,
when it
We
comes
about to go
to
crazy y'all season. You missed the beginning, Chop. One of the
Nah, I'm
squads that
jagging it, bro. We need like
one of the squads
we
TYJ messed with the most on the personal was the Crusaders. So y'all gonna get that love.
I already
We
know,
going to
bro.
all the games, bro. We gonna do full. We gonna do
And
sideline
you remember how we had
and
Spin
booth.
Move going live and we had the Predator page? Y'all remember that? The Predator page and then Spin Move, they both was going live. We need to bring that back again, bro. We need to
You
have
gonna
live
see, bro.
coverages.
Big East season gonna be like the pilot program with all the extras, but
Yeah, that's what we need,
TYG
bro.
gonna be at TYJ gonna be at Big East, and me and Pat gonna be doing mad like video, audio, live. Like you feel me? Gonna get all that going, bro.
I'm jagging that, bro.
now,
Like
here's the
Yeah,
that's
thing,
bro.
that's
Drewski.
gonna
Now,
make
now,
like
whoa,
big
hold on. I'm gonna cut you both on this.
that's right. When it comes down to it, and this is what I don't want people to lose in this, is that Drewski is not just a media guy.
inside.
He's connected.
Yeah, with the
So like
players. My
he
son Drewski
knows
outside, bro.
he knows
Everybody.
everybody.
All two all mo.
He knows how everybody
He knows how everybody's
and
moving.
he knows how everything is shaken. So why on earth? Like he's not the media guy. He is literally the man. Like, what do I want to even like? There's got to be a word for what this man's talents and
The
ability and
director.
reach is. And I'm not BSing you. Like literally, this that's the CEO right there,
Yeah, the director of
right?
facts.
Now,
The
Now
producer of
sometimes
facts.
the top notch.
company
Dane Wayne.
right? So the top notch companies in the world, some of them dudes that are CEOs, you'll see them like down on the working level and seeing how everything shakes. Like if I own McDonald's, I want to see how that fry machine works. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And if you see me on the fry machine, you wouldn't even know that I own the company type of thing. That's how Drewski is. Drewski knows the ins and outs of whatever and can diffuse so many problems before they even start
Because you gotta
because
remember too, right? Drewski was a player first. And I heard stories. I ain't never seen Drewski on the field, but on and off the field, that was a problem right there. So you feel me? So now he's taking that. You know, everybody get old, everybody get mature and shit like that. So I'm
Thank
not
you.
guessing. This is me
The
seeing
guru
that
of
my
semi-pro
boy is on
football,
some like
copyrighted
elevation shit. You feel me?
Drewski, the guru of semi-pro football. That's who he is.
You know what it
I'm
is,
liking
bro?
it.
I blew my shoulder and I couldn't play no more, but I love it. Like
That's
I
probably
love
the best thing
this.
that happened to you, though, bro.
Yeah, bro. Like this interaction is like you feel me. Like it's fun
Yeah,
for a nigga.
everything
I ain't
happened
gonna
for a
lie,
reason,
bro.
bro.
So it's like once I care about something, I be like I become like a savant for it. So now it's like I don't watch TV like regular people, bro. Like I might watch one show or I watch whatever me and my honey watch because that's law. You feel me? But like aside from that, I'm on my phone, bro. So when I'm on my phone, if I'm not taking care of business, my interaction, this just like TV for me, bro. So nigga, I'm on like season 8, 9, 10 of this shit right here. So you're not gonna out
I
knowledge
small
put, you
too. I
feel
think
me?
yeah, you
Now
already
That's
here's
know
it,
the
the
bro.
game. You
thing.
know the
You
game
see
plan.
how
Facts.
Yeah, that's it, bro.
you see how even on this live,
I have a bunch of folks chiming in with, "Hey, this would be cool," giving ideas and stuff like that. Here's the funny thing: so many times, and my for the young folks in here, please disagree with me if you disagree with me. I mean, you're gonna be wrong, but you can disagree with me. Oftentimes, I see you guys post ideas in here. And then you feel as though you're not being heard or you got shot down because some old head said, yeah, we did that before, it didn't work, and we're kind of moving on, right? Drewski has the ability to take that info, get on the same level, and be like, "Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think logistically, boom, 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 boom. What about this? What about that? I think we can make it shake and make it happen." That's why, again, this is not a media dude. This is a guru of semi-pro football. I
Thank
don't
you,
know how
brother.
many different
ways
I
I
have to say it. He's not a commissioner, right? Because to me, commissioner is beneath him, right?
I didn't
It's
remember want none of that for real word.
right. So he's not a president because president is beneath him. He's not media director because that's beneath him. He is the guru of semi-pro football. And if you are not like basically getting him involved in what you're doing, not to say that like you need his seal of approval, whatever, but
Nah.
if you are not sitting there like, yo, yo, Drew, let me run something by you real quick, and hearing his takes on it, and how his feedback and boom boom boom, then you're setting yourself up for a little disappointment. And again, a lot of it is, and this is the funny thing, Drewski, if we had linked up 10, 15 years ago, I think Pat would get a lot less hate because oftentimes my style is,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's not going to work. Oh, watch this fail. Oh, that's going to fail. Watch it fail. Not because I wish failure on anybody, but I've seen this before,
Predictive analysis.
right? So you do
Mm-hmm.
predictive analysis in a much more loving, much more genuine, caring way
Mm-hmm.
than Pat, which is why, again,
And
Pat's
then
favorite.
I'm gonna be honest with you too. You took over a lot of slack from the original Bleezies. You feel me? Like you
Oh,
took over that. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. Like cause they'll do the spring season, they won't do the summer. You all year round type shit. You feel
Shit
me?
like
Like
that.
whoa.
you
So
messed
That's
it
yeah,
tough,
up.
bro. We
brother.
need first of all we need to get you in them booths. You feel me? We need to get a mic in your hand. That's number one. You feel me?
That's what I'm saying. We you might have missed the beginning. We already about to start doing that. We had a convo, me, Pat, and E, some months ago, and then I spoke with E like 2 days ago. I was supposed to link Pat yesterday, but I got caught up. But we having a convo today. But when E do the TYJ games, it's gonna end up being like a game of the week each week. You feel me? Whatever.
Yeah.
We gonna do the games with him, bro. Like why not? We there. Let's do it.
Yeah,
And we
I'm
gonna
vibing
start
this, man.
all the on field, all the
And
play
then
by play.
watch how all these other media pages is falling suit. I'm telling you,
Course,
bro. That's
bro.
how it is, bro.
Yo, bro. I had
Like I
again.
said,
I'm
bro,
not.
he
You.
he's
Yeah.
bro, he a problem with that camera, bro. And
That's
like
my
I said, he
brother.
getting these
Listen.
kids Division 1 scholarships.
That's one thing I say. My brother got the same shit I got. How Pat said everything about me, I
You see,
say
I ain't want to
everything the
say your
same way
brother
about
because
my
I ain't want
brother.
anybody else in your business, but
Nah, that's cool, bro. It's good, bro, because that's real shit. Niggas on
uh,
niggas. Pause. You already know. That's on the. You feel me? That's the cloth.
I knew E when I was a kid, bro.
I
No
know,
cap,
bro. Y'all
bro.
came up together. I know the vibes, bro. I know the
So,
vibes, bro. But
all
yeah,
right,
that
y'all.
way though.
So we're about to
Word
wrap.
love,
Who you
Pat. You
got?
already know though,
Who
Patty.
you got going to the Super Bowl?
What's your
I don't even know
prediction?
who's in it. Pause.
Z, what you got?
Seattle Seahawks in there, right?
Seahawks and the oh my god,
Patriots.
and Seahawks and Rams are playing, and then the Patriots and
Oh no, I'm
Broncos are
going for the
playing.
Yeah,
Rams.
Patriots and Seahawks.
Two of my best friends root for the Rams. I'm going Rams to win the whole Super Bowl. That's it. We good.
I don't
Shouts to
know,
the
bro. That
Rams.
Patriots team looking crazy, bro.
I
They,
hate
yo,
the
bro.
Patriots. I never pick the
Whew.
Patriots.
The Super Bowl, who's gonna go there?
I understand, but I'm saying
The
Cowboys
Seahawks
and
and
Patriots.
thing.
You'll never hear me say Cowboys, Eagles, Patriots. Know what I'm saying? Never.
Fellas, enjoy your Sunday. You heard? Be
Love,
safe.
Yes,
Stay
same way,
sir.
warm.
y'all.
Yes,
All
sir.
Blessings.
right, y'all.
Yo, later, Patty. We gonna
Yes,
talk,
sir.
bro.
Absolutely.
For
All right,
sure.
so you heard it here first. Appreciate y'all. You heard it here first. Wrapping up the show. Great show today. A lot of yes out of the background. Zion made his first appearance. We talked about who's number one in the nation. Brooklyn Seminoles are number one. Long story short, Brooklyn Seminoles over Detroit Ravens. Here's the reason why. Detroit Ravens have one win over a league champion, and that's the Oklahoma Bears. We did say that they did have a harder season schedule, and you could make the claim that two of their opponents, the Motor City Rams and Racine Raiders, if they were in different leagues, would probably be league champions. But you could also argue as well that they wouldn't have played those two teams outside of a league situation. But whatever. The Brooklyn Seminoles have that resume. They defeated three league champions this year: the New England Bombers, the Lockport Wildcats, and the New Jersey Sharks. And if the New Jersey Sharks win the Sunshine Bowl, there's three national champs, and the Knowles beat one of them. Detroit Ravens didn't play either of the other two. So therefore, Seminoles are number one. And that's my thesis on that. You could disagree, but you would be incorrect. But that's the big thing. So good luck to the Sharks out there. Their game's coming up in a couple weeks. Next week, we are back. Probably snowed in as well, but it is what it is. And then the week after, is Super Bowl weekend. We will be in Santa Clara, San Francisco. We'll be around the Bay Area for the Super Bowl. We get you some shots from that. Back, just like we usually do. We'll be hanging out at the Super Bowl like we usually do, have some fun, and say what's up to all my semi-pro fam. That's 2 weeks from now. And then the week after that, we are in Madrid, Spain. So we got international Bleezy. Pretty dope. All right, y'all. Your football's ass, bro. Yeah, sounds good. You'll see. Later.